Good evening, viewers. Welcome to our Saturday's evening Scout Talk Show. This is where we discuss issues. On Saturday, we were discussing the gap in constitutions, and constitutions being a big thing, being a prime things in Uganda Scouts. We are still here today discussing the same. The topic today is the gap. How are the gaps in the constitutions affecting the Uganda Scout associations? How are the constitutional gaps affecting the Uganda Scouts associations? With me on my left, I have Julius, and I have a new guest for today. I'm going to give them time to introduce themselves. Building a Scout mentality is our slogan for the SSTV. Let me start with my left.
Yes, good evening, viewers. As usual, my name is Julius, Scout leader, and I'm from Makindye. I'm so delighted to be here to share again with you members. Enjoy the show.
And on my right.
Thank you so much. I'm Kenneth Masumba. Scouts know me as Haina. I'm from Kampala Central, and I'm at the council as the treasurer for our district. I'm happy to be here to ensure that we build the Scout mentality within our Scout fraternity.
Thank you. And Eric Osborne is my name. You are us. Mr. Ken, last Saturday you were not here, and we had a discussions on the constitutional gap.
Yeah.
We want to give you a few minutes to give us a small insight. What is your take? We have the constitutions. Last time our discussion was we have the constitutions at play. We have the POR that's supposed to help us implement the constitutions. What is your view? Is our constitutions crap? Has it lived its usefulness? Is it still useful? This is only for you. In 2 minutes.
Over time, I was one of the people who used to think that our constitution is crap. And many scouts have always pointed at me for calling the constitution crap. But over time, I found out that the constitution, much as it has gaps, but it is a guiding tool on how to govern our association. So the constitution is there fine, but it has not done its purpose for which it was formed. Therefore, the POR that is supposed to support the constitution in implementing the rules and regulations, it has also done some work, though it also has gaps, because the people who did the POR, it's like they rushed through things and they did not look into detail. Even the constitution, the gaps there is because they just wanted to have a constitution and be given to people, but they never thought of the future.
Thank you.
Of how it will affect the association.
Thank you. Julius, the big question is, are we following our constitution?
Well, Mr.
Before we begin talking of the gaps.
For me, when I look at our association, we are not following the constitution and its purpose. We are just doing things anyhow in our thinking. Someone comes in leadership, he has his own view and his own constitution. So we end up, when we are just seeing, we have a written constitution to follow, but unfortunately, we are not following it. So the same applies that when you have the constitution, when you put the Uganda Scouts constitution here, and you put the POR somewhere, you may find POR contradicts to the constitution. I may give you this example that in a POR, you find that a chief commissioner has to be there 5 years. In the constitution, they are saying 4 years. So, which is which? Should we follow the POR or should we follow the constitution in that category?
So my question is, are we following the constitution?
Definitely. That's my answer is no.
Ken,
Yes.
Are we following the constitutions? Is the gap with us or the gap is with the constitutions? Because before we begin to talk about gaps in constitutions, we should first be in positions to follow what is there. Until we begin following what is in the constitution, that's when we begin to talk about the gaps.
Okay. Well, the constitution is there, yes. Question is, are we following it?
Yes.
Are we using it? The answer is no. Reason is one. The constitution was made or was written, but it was not disseminated to the people who are supposed to deliver its purpose. For example, you may find a scout leader at the level of a district commissioner. We have always held elections in districts, but there is no single district that has ever come up with a constitution and puts it on table to elect leaders according to the constitution. So very many people are in leadership, but they don't know what the constitution says. It's until there is a conflict that when someone states, how about the constitution? And even before that, before the constitution issues started coming up, people were only referring to the Scout law and the Scout promise, not knowing that we have a constitution that is detailed with regulations on each and everything.
Thank you. To you, where are the gaps?
I will have the gaps in 3 categories. The first gap is in the coming up of the constitution. The team that sat to come up with the constitution, it skipped some processes. For example, I don't remember any time where the districts were consulted on the articles put in the association constitution. This means that a team sat and did articles in their own interest because they did not consult anyone to be part of the process in making the constitution. What was done was to come up with a document, come to call people to the council, and they said, this is our constitution. Do you agree with it? And the answer is, yes, we agree, and it is passed. But when you ask people who were there in that council, did you go article by article to understand this document? They will tell you no. So that is the first thing. That was the first problem, that people sat, made a constitution, called the people to pass it without understanding it. Then the second thing is the document itself. It is not in detail. Because it was, I think